All right, welcome to another episode of the DoubleB Creates podcast. Today, we have a very special guest that I'm super excited to announce. He told me not to tell anyone that he is on Forbes 30 Under 30, so I won't say that. But this gentleman runs a business called Billion Dollar Body. I believe he has a book out. I could be wrong. And there it is.
Yeah.
A businessman. He has a podcast called BDB, which is short for Billion Dollar Body, obviously. And this gentleman is insanely successful for how young he is. I'm actually impressed. So we'll just get into it. This is Nick Bayerle.
Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, and I'm glad you're impressed. That makes me feel grateful. I'm glad you didn't say that I was on Forbes 30 Under 30, which I was not. I was ranked 30 Under 30 with Influenza, which is a huge platform, has like 1 million people that watch and read their blogs every single month. But it's definitely not Forbes. I don't want to take anything that's not mine, but I'm excited to jump into it, have some fun, and yeah, that be proof that you can turn your mess into your message, which is something that I've gotten tons of credit for that I probably don't deserve, but hey, I'll take the credit. Everyone now just accredits every quote to me, all my friends. You know, it's like, we took one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, and then they just say Nicolas Bayerle because they feel like I get credit for all the cool quotes. Yet, truly, it's definitely my life gets credit for it. I was cleaning carpets 4 years ago as my main source of income. I was sitting there every single day, spraying the pre-spray, working into the carpet, cleaning off gum off bowling alleys in the middle of the night from 11 p.m. to 4 in the morning. Those were the worst jobs, by the way. And just doing whatever it took to be able to provide as a man. The number one cause of shame in America right now with men is not being able to provide for their family. Yet the problem is that we get told that if we provide for our family, that all of a sudden we're supposed to be like super pumped and we're going to feel like this destiny and fulfilled purpose. Yet you see guys that are in corporate settings committing suicide every single day that make good money. And you also see men that no matter how much money they make, this doesn't mean they keep anymore. The average person in America doesn't have $1,000 to their freaking name that if their tires blow out, they're shit out of luck. Sorry if I can't say that. But yeah, so I'm super passionate about what we do. And like you said, yeah, Modern Day Businessman goes over a lot of that stuff and in more depth. Yet I'm just super blessed to be able to be that spokesperson to help other people that weren't just born with a silver spoon, didn't have a ton of talent. I didn't know how to speak on podcasts or do a video or get on stages, write a Facebook post. I never done any of that. Yet I was able to transition out of carpet cleaning, and now we reach over 100,000 men every single month through our company, Billion Dollar Body and Billion Dollar Brotherhood as well. So yeah, I'm super pumped, man, and thanks for having me.
We're excited to have you, man. I was listening to your podcast today, actually, and it was the newest episode that you had sent me because you are an expecting father. And that one, I was like, man, I didn't realize you had this many episodes out.
Heck yeah, man. Since 2016, I've been going at it. And the episode count that you see isn't even all the episodes. That's also with a season cut where we started season 2 when we actually rebranded to BDB. So we have hundreds and hundreds of episodes out, been consistent with it, which we talked about before this. Episode 7 is where 97 or 90% of podcasts stop. Yet people complain all the time about like, man, this stuff isn't working for me. Like my friends don't buy from me and all this stuff. Like, oh, like it failed. And I'm like, no, dude, you failed. My mentor once told me, I posted like 2 days ago. If you go to my Instagram right now, you can steal the quote and go like share it somewhere. It says, you remember the guy that quit? Yeah, me neither. Because nobody freaking remembers the quitters. And my mentor once told me when I was 20, this guy who owned a network marketing company, they did $600 million in their third year. It's crazy. $1 billion in sales. He said, Nicholas, if you quit, you lose. And if you lose, then you're a loser. And I was like, that makes complete sense. So I already knew that if I quit, then I lose. And we've been doing the podcast for a long freaking time, man. But yeah, that guy he's amazing. I'm sure if you guys both have kids, it kind of triggered you the way that he told you that you like have the conversation with your kids. I was like, dude, how do you do that? If your kid comes in yelling at you, you just say, when your voice is like mine, then let's talk about it. I was like, that sounds so amazing, but I don't know if like that I'm going to do that all the time because I'm going to freak out as well. So it was really good and convicting for sure.
Oh, being a parent's hard. I lose my shit more than I should. So to listen to that today, I was just like, you know what, this is a damn good reminder. So it was a killer episode. I was very impressed.
Thanks, man. That it's one of the only ones we do on fatherhood. A lot of it's like story, entrepreneurship, success, because I'm just looking at what every guy needs inside the community. And I've invested now well over 300 grand into personal development, coaches, mentorships, all these different things to build a network. And so I was like, man, like for the book, I'm like, what can I do to like take the things I've learned investing 300K and put it into a book that's right now I have it for like $11 or $10.80 on Amazon, which if people do the math on a book, that doesn't mean, and I have a publisher, means I'm making no money off the book. So that I get in the hands of people. How can I do that in audio? People that don't like audio, I do it on the book. People that like audio, it's on the podcast for free. I'm just like trying to bring in my network. I'm paying for them. I'm like, hey, I want to have a conversation with you. Seth, I was like, that's the guy that did the fathership stuff. I said, hey, Seth, I really want to ask you a bunch of questions about fatherhood and all the things that you do. Do you think that when I get you on Zoom that I can just record the thing and we'll just kind of wrap it out and make sure everyone else can hear it as well? You know what I mean? Like giving people access, and people pay massively for that. And a lot of people in the world right now will usually hold it behind closed curtains. Like, oh, like if you join my $64 a month membership, then you get access to all this stuff and information, as if information is valuable. It's information in itself is not what's valuable. It's the curation of it, the context of the information, and the accountability and how it can be applied contextually to the person that makes it super valuable. So for me, and Gary Vee, I love how he does it, puts it out there and he gives. And I look at it like bank accounts. People are bank accounts, and you can't look at every relationship this way. I just found this out today. I was like, man, I look at God the wrong way. Sometimes I feel like I need to do things to earn the things that he wants to give me. That's actually the wrong way to look at the relationship. But in business, it's a great way to look at the relationship. How could I ask of someone something if I haven't done something for them in the first place? And I've always had this like deep thing inside of me that's like, people are like bank accounts. You can't make a withdrawal unless you make a deposit. So how can I go out there and make deposits in all these guys? By creating shows, content, things that I've learned, and then ask for things like Gary Vee will be like, go buy my shoes, go buy my book. He's so direct with it because he's given so much. He's like, dude, listen, if you've gotten $20 worth of value or $100 worth of value, go buy these shoes or go buy this book or go buy my wine. And the problem that I had, just to make it contextual for everyone listening right now, is some people are like, well, I don't have anything good to say or good to teach. Why would anyone, like, what value do I have to bring to the world anyway? And my mentor, Russell Brunson, said it really well, and he probably learned it from someone else as well. There's 4 major attractive characters. When you think of attractive characters, it's just the face of a company. You have a brand, whether you like it or not. If you have a company, great, you have a brand. If you're a person alive, check your pulse. You're not dead. Like, you look at a girl, you get, you know what I'm talking about? You're alive. Like, if you have that, then you're a brand, because every single day, everyone's looking at you and you have a reputation. You have a reputation online. You have a reputation in your city. You have a reputation with your family. You have a reputation with your immediate family, with yourself. You have a brand and you're speaking something to someone, and people are getting to know who you are by that brand. If that's true, then there's 4 different types of ways that you can become a leader in today's world. One of them is going to be the reluctant hero. This is probably a very minimal amount of the people right now. It would be like Elon Musk. Does he ever need to help anyone ever again? Probably not. Like, he could just do his own thing. Yet he can now be this character, and these are all taken from like styles of movies, and like they're in every movie, and you'll see yourself and see different versions of these. Reluctant hero is someone who like has it all for themselves already, but they feel that they have something greater they need to give back to the world. And that may be a few people that are listening, and that would be like Elon Musk coming and helping all of us with business. It's like reluctant. He doesn't need to do it, but he knows there's a calling in his life to go do that thing. The second thing is going to be someone who's a reporter. Like, I'm like a reporter. A reporter is somebody who brings in people that are amazing at the thing that they're teaching, and they're the one just asking the questions, like we're doing right now. People think they have to bring all this value to the world. I didn't know this at the beginning. I thought that I had to be a guru and a teacher and know it all. No, if I had a health company and I was like, yeah, this is our health company, we are the #1 person who does XYZ, and I didn't say anything, but I just brought in health people to teach all day, like, I'd have all the best content. But I'm not even saying anything. I'm the reporter. And this would be like Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, right? Think and Grow Rich was a great book, and it did really amazing. And was he really the guy that was like the killer? No. He was interviewing all the people that were the killer, and that's what was going on. The next one would be the person that's like the tester, right? This would be like Tim Ferriss, right? Where he goes out there and tests a bunch of stuff. And when he tests the things, he comes back and tells everyone all about it, right? Like you can just test things. Like there's a kid right now on YouTube that makes $20 million a year reviewing toys. He tests a toy and tells you what he thinks about it. And then there's the last one, which is a guru. What have you done? Can you put a blueprint together to show people exactly what you did to create the same result? This would be my friend Alex Hermosi. He started a gym, did really well, and now he sells the blueprint on how he filled his gym. So figure out in your life right now, no matter what, you have a brand. So whether you have a company right now or not, doesn't matter. What are you saying to other people through the life that you live? Do they think you're a douche? Do they think you're lazy because you only wear sweats when you go out into the store every single time? Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like, right? Like, do you have guns hanging on your wall? Cool. Like, people are going to be attracted to that, right? Like, do you wear a suit every single day? Cool. Where the guy who has guns and like wears a hunting hat isn't going to love the guy that just sits in a suit all day. So like, be yourself and you're going to attract a tribe. And serve them, and don't be stuck in just being a guru, have to know it all, or don't be stuck in thinking you have to do it like other people. You can do it your own way. And no matter what, you have that brand right now if you're a person. Like personal brands are the number one way right now to build a business, like for anyone. Like you look at Elon Musk, like you think of Tesla. You think of like his solar company. Like you look at Apple and you think of Steve Jobs. You think of Zuckerberg and you think of Facebook. These are people that are tied to a brand. And I'm going on this rant, but ever since the beginning of time, people have had a face that they could trust for a brand. Even one of the oldest industries in the world, real estate, when you see a sign on the side of the road, you see a person, usually with their wife or something, or their team, all standing all stupid, but still they did it because it has a face. And when you see a face and it's like, oh man, like the house is for sale. Oh, that person seems pretty nice. Like I should buy from them, right? Like people think that they can trust a face. What about the face of Porsche? I have no clue who owns Porsche. Porsche has brand loyalty now because they built trust over however many years, over 50 years, right? Of people like building trust with Porsche, and now they have this identity. Yet, how long did it really take for Facebook to gain trust? Not long, because Mark was out there building trust with his face because people trust people, and then people trusted what he did. And now that can happen in a very short amount of time. And so if you are the face and you're building trust, people will trust you. And even if you just tell them to buy something, they'll do it. Just now in today's day and world, you get paid for it, right? Tony Robbins pays me 50% of every person that buys his course that I send his way. That's not that hard. Hey, how many of you guys like Tony Robbins and want to improve yourself? Great. Watch this video of Tony Robbins because he's amazing. And then if you like it, buy his thing. And they buy the thing and I make money. That really doesn't even have anything to do with me. All I did was I was myself and I told someone to go check out his stuff. You know, it'd be like having a movie come out that's a #1 best-selling movie in the world, and you told your friend to go watch it, and they gave you half the money from the ticket stub and all the food that they bought. That'd be pretty freaking legit, right? And that's the world we live in nowadays.
Yeah, it'd be legit to get that.
I know, right? I think there's different ways now to do it, man. There's
you make like $8 every time.
When you Uber, now if you Uber, you can like send your friend the link to your Uber app and you get like a certain amount of rides. Right now with Grubhub, shout out Grubhub. I don't know if I've ever even used them before, but they give you $100 delivery credit if you refer your friend. So you refer your friend, you get free $100 of deliveries. You know, it's like they're incentivizing the people to go out there and do it, right? It used to be network marketing. Now it's affiliate marketing, which has always been around, but it was something that only like the internet marketers knew about. Now it's like, man, if you refer me business, I'm going to give you a big chunk of the pie. And so the benefit of that is that you don't have to be super smart. I make a couple $100, not a crazy amount, off one blog I wrote, 7 supplements every man should take. And in that blog, it has links to products that I make money from. Right? Like they were legit things. Like I didn't reach out to these companies and just write the blog for it. I already loved all these things. And I was like, man, I should write a blog about it. And if I write the blog, I should probably give the links to my stuff because it doesn't cost them any more. If anything, it gives them a discount and it makes me money, even though All I did was just put something out there, attracted a tribe, and then they bought something and I made money. The best way to do it is obviously through your own product and your own business, but I also want to take some of that mystification off of it as well.
That's exactly what we're shooting for, is just, how do I even phrase it without sounding stupid? You already did phrase everything. I mean, with a personal brand, you can do affiliate marketing and stuff like that. Obviously, you're not going to get rich off of it, but
unless you do.
Yeah. But I mean, you always start somewhere, and then you progressively start learning more and more. That's just like you working for the carpet cleaning company. You actually posted not too long ago a picture of you pushing a vacuum or a carpet cleaner or something, and then said, "This was me 4 years ago. This is us now, and this is in our new house," and kind of compared and contrasted everything. And I mean, it's a lot of work, but is the payoff worth it? Absolutely.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of work either way. Like carpet cleaning was a lot of work. It's just like, what do people want and what do they expect? There's a good quote out there that says, whatever you expect of life is what you're going to get. All right. So like whatever you want, like if you expect it's going to be hard, like it's probably going to be hard. If you expect good things to happen to you, you're probably going to see the things and have good things happen to you. Like if you expect that everything's going to go crappy, like that's probably what's going to happen. So if it's up to you, like if all you can do is expect and be like, man, like this is what I want out of life, then all of a sudden opportunities come your way. It's the same way with cars. I always thought it was so fascinating that you go play Punch Buggy or like Slug Bug as a kid, and I've never played it in a while. I don't even know if there's freaking Volkswagen Beetles out there really anymore. But I promise I'll still find it. Actually, leaving this show, I want to hear if you look for Volkswagen Beetles, if you actually even find them. But what would happen is you'd play the game, and I remember being about like 8 years old. I'm on my way home, and we're playing the game, and I found 16 of them on the ride home. On the sides of the road, I was looking at the parking spots, and I realized, man, like whatever you focus on, you see. And many people out there are like, man, I just want to get a job. Man, if I could just make $10,000 a month in a trades work, right? Like if I could just put my hands to something, make 10K a month, work like crazy hours and then take time off and do that. And then it would be amazing, right? And they start seeing opportunities for this to happen. Like if you want it bad enough, you're going to find it. Yet like what I found is that bigger opportunities, $100,000, $1 million, $10 million, $100 million, $1 billion opportunities are out there as well. So number one is being aware of it. What do you want so that you're aware of it? Because if you're aware of I remember going to Rodeo Drive when I was just like turning 20. Never seen nice cars before. Maybe some of the ones that I kind of noticed I saw, but for the most part, I walked past all these expensive cars and didn't even notice them. I had no value for the cars because I didn't have any education. I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know I was looking at $1 million car or a $500,000 car. Now when I go past, I'm like, dang, that's legit. Whoever the hell bought that, like I should probably meet this person because they got some cash. And that's what I think about everywhere I go now. Like I saw a Ferrari on my way home from getting my haircut today. And I was like, dang, that's dope. Like the guy in the car had to buy the car. So I wonder what the guy in the car does. Like I'm kind of interested in that. But before I didn't even notice it. So the first thing is being aware of opportunities. But just being aware isn't quite enough because there is location, right? If you go into the middle of Pennsylvania right now and you're like, you know what? Lamborghini, right? And you're like, Lamborghini. Like I'm freaking aware of it. Where are all the damn Lamborghinis? Like it's going to be few and far between that you see a Lamborghini like trucking it through the mud in Pennsylvania. And there's great roads in Pennsylvania. And my friend has a Lambo in Pennsylvania, actually. Yeah, there's less opportunity. So not only do you want to be aware, you want to be in the freeway zone of opportunity, which if you go to Rodeo Drive now and you think Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, like you're just a normal guy if you drive a Rolls Royce in LA. Like you're not even special anymore. You're actually the average. It's not even a big deal. Some people don't even look anymore because that's just the normal stuff. And that would blow most people away. And so what I found is the mixture of the two. The best part about online nowadays, though, is that back in the day, let's say you had a passion, right? Which I have a lot of thoughts on passions. But let's say you had a passion and you loved shooting. And you're like, man, like I hate indoor shooting ranges. They're so freaking boring. I like outdoor shooting ranges where we can actually like do crazy stuff, right? And like I love skeet shooting, right? And so it's like you don't shoot a shotgun indoors normally. And maybe they have some huge facilities, but like, I'm like, dude, no, I like stuff like I want my clay pigeon to go this way, that way, this way. I want different angles. Like I want to have fun. And so let's say I was like, I want to do that, but I was in a town where no one hunted. Nobody would have cared. Like I would have had to convince people that they should get a shotgun and learn how to shoot. Nowadays, it's so simple because you have access to everyone everywhere. And though, let's say you like to knit and in your city, no one liked to knit. And so you didn't have any type of like, there was no audience for it. Now, because you can reach so many people through search, which would be YouTube, Google, those are search style marketing. That could be through blogs or video, or through disruptive marketing, which would be like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all these different platforms where people are jumping in front of you. You're scrolling, you see it, you're like, whoa. Now you can actually target people or reach people that way and build an audience of 100,000 people that like to knit. Whereas before it was defined by the area that you were in, right? You couldn't be a vegetable grower in Canada in the winter. Like you just couldn't do that before, right? Like it was impossible. But nowadays, like with the internet, you can reach people that you would have never been able to reach inside of a small city. And this just makes the world open up. And typically people think one of two things right now. They think, okay, am I too late to this whole like deal, right? Like they're scared, like, is this even going to work for me? And am I too late to it? And the thing is that right now, let's say you want to build an audience or you want to sell something in the future, build a company. Instagram, every platform that you could build a social media following on right now, blogs, building an email list. Tomorrow, it's going to be harder. Like tomorrow is going to be harder. So like if you're going to do something, you might as well start today, because all I can tell you is like it's not going to get any easier to be able to do these things. And so when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 freaking years ago. Like when's the second best time? Like right now. So that's what I would say. But dude, there's so many things that go through your mind when you're trying to build a business, when you're going from, especially if you're coming from a trade. Like, you go from using your body. I remember I get so tired in carpet cleaning, but I'd wake up, I'd go do my jobs, I'd come home, and I would kind of like do whatever I wanted to do. The thing is like if you come out of that and you have to go use your brain all the time, you experience a different level of fatigue that sometimes is like even more intense than carpet cleaning. It's that brain fatigue. Like you make as many decisions as you can in the day and you're not moving your body as much. And so it's a whole different style. It's a whole different confidence. And so that was one of the hardest things for me bridging the gap, was like, I didn't have confidence in communicating a message, building a business. Whereas in the trade, like I once had an employee. This employee was selling for us and he was an amazing guy, athlete, all this stuff. On the phone, he was stale. But if you took him to a basketball court, if this guy would just sell the way that he played and acted on the basketball court, he was a completely different person. And most people have their priorities of where they're progressing totally jacked up. They're confident on the basketball court that doesn't pay them a dime, but they're not confident on the camera, on the phone, in their product, which just makes no sense to me.
I can see that a lot. That happens at work a lot too. I would agree 100%, because there's a lot of people that ask me and Kevin, why are you doing it? Because at one point we were going, the videos are awesome on YouTube, but why don't we get people that know the stuff and bring it on here? Because I know me and Kevin don't know it, and I ain't very good at speaking, but I can ask some great questions. And that's kind of how we built it.
It's just like Nick said on that podcast episode that we had touched on earlier. He said something like, I want to be the best, so I associate with the best people in that industry. Something like that. Yeah,
I always want to make sure that I'm always associating, first off, with anything that I'm doing, that I'm associating with the best. Like no matter what. And I don't know if I'm going the right direction on it, but I've done this in everything. If there's one thing that everyone can do right now, one, they should be inspired by you guys. And that's like, again, that's why they're listening probably, is because they identify with where you guys are coming from, and you guys can reach people that I can't reach. They'll only listen to me because you listen to me. That's the only reason why. Yet with everything that I do, I did it with motocross. I wanted to be a pro motocross racer. That's all that I wanted to do. That I started racing motocross when I was 4. So like I've been doing this my whole life. And that's all I want to do. So when I was trying to be pro, most people, they end up just keep hanging out and riding with their same friends. I got around pro riders. I started getting a lot better. I then got out of motocross to go back into business because I knew that motocross was not going to get me where I wanted to go, which is where I'd like to go next in the conversation. And if you guys can remind me, how did I figure out where I did want to go is definitely something I want to talk about with everyone. But I knew like that was not going to get me to the life that I wanted. It wasn't going to make the money that I wanted, give me the time freedom that I wanted. So why the hell am I going down the path? Like I've been really good in my life at not going down paths. It didn't matter. So then I got into golf. And golf was like a side hobby because I didn't know what to do. When I stopped racing motocross, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to progress at something. What the hell am I going to do? So I picked up some golf clubs and I got my ass kicked by my father-in-law and my brother-in-law. We went to a par 3 in South Carolina and I got my ass kicked. So I hit 240 balls every single day for a year and a half and played golf 4 days a week. But what did I do? I found the pro golfer that always golfed at the actual golf course, and I mirrored him. I mirrored his work ethic. I mirrored his playing style, his expectations. I went from shooting in the 120s to I even shot 2 under par in 9 holes, and I shot 1 over par in 18 holes as my best round. That's like, like a pro round of golf in a year and a half. And then I got into coffee, which was right before motocross and all this. And I met this Australian guy. I brought him coffee creamer. Just imagine this. I go to this guy's house. He has like $5,000 of espresso equipment. He's like the best barista in all of Australia. In California, though, at his house, he's got all this stuff. And I come up there and I'm like, man, this coffee's really good, dude. Like, what do you do different? He's like, tell me about it. And I'm like, dude, at my house, though, I got this amazing creamer, like this awesome like coconut creamer. And he was like, no, like we don't do creamer. Like we do like milk and espresso or just black coffee. And I'm like, oh, dude, you just don't understand. You're from Australia. There must be some type of like problem here. Like you don't get it. Like this stuff's amazing. So I came back to their house and he about almost threw me out. I came back with the thing of creamer. It's like, again, it's like sacrilegious, dude. It's like, I don't know what would be the comparison. Like my dad would say, it's like a fart in church. Like it was so bad. And like, and I remember going there and the dude was like so pissed, but I was intrigued because what he was doing was like pretty legit. So I started asking, can you show me how to make coffee on your machine? Like I'll come over, I'll learn about it. Maybe I can help you out with some of the events that you do and stuff like that. And I started getting addicted, dude. When this guy was lazy and wouldn't wake up in the morning, sorry if he's listening, and the family needed coffee, I would drive 15 minutes just to make the family coffee on their machine for them. And then I went out there and bought a $4,000 espresso machine. I went out there and paid $150 an hour to learn from the best cafe in the world. And I surrounded myself by the very best. And I quickly rose to the top. And still to this day, without doing it for years, I still can make coffee better than the majority of the big companies out there. And so no matter what I've done, I look at the process that I've gone through. And it's always been, okay, I'm interested in this thing. Who's the best at this thing? How can I get around the best and kind of cut off all ties? I did this in life too. I was hanging out with stupid friends in high school. I was 60 pounds overweight and I lost the weight, still was hanging out with stupid people and was like, dude, who do I know that's progressing? I had one friend. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to reach out to the one friend. That friend must have other friends that's like him. So I met him and he was acting different, acting like he was progressing. So I cut off all my friends, dude, in one day. Like I was just like, oh, like this is the replacement of all you guys that are doing nothing with your life. And I just grafted myself into that environment. I've continued to do that over and over and over again. Because no matter what, you'll adapt to the environment that you're in. Most people are just too scared to leave their comfort zone of their environment. And if you can't do that, then don't freaking message me. Like, don't message. Like, dude, if you saw how many messages we get, it is absolutely ridiculous of people that want help but just won't do the things. Like, if I could just literally show you, this is like today. Do you see the video? That's just today. People that want help and want to do things, but if they won't do the things, like if I tell you get around people that are doing it, And you're like, oh man, like Nicolas, I've been trying to do the thing, but it's not working. And you're like, oh, did you do the first thing, the foundational thing of getting around people that are better than you in this area? Oh yeah, but it's tough. Well, then pay for it. Oh, I can't afford it. Well, then work for it. Like, figure it out. The world isn't going to do it for you. Like, I don't need someone to come up to me as a victim and be like, well, it's not working. I'm like, okay. Like, so you're going to just talk about the problem, or are you going to go figure it out? Because like no one's going to come over here and change your diaper for you anymore. Like life is over from that point. Like it's time to progress past that. And so the foundational thing for me always has been, am I surrounding myself with the people? Because let's say you're the biggest loser dick in your friends group right now, and you make $1,000 a month, and you're a freaking loser, and you work really hard, and your friends make 4,000 or 5,000 or 6,000 trimming trees and digging holes and whatever, and they're working their ass off, and you're like, man, like I'm a loser. Well, cool. Now go graft yourself. Go live with your friend on the floor in a cot for $135, especially if you're single. This works so well if you're still single. And figure out a way to invest in yourself, up-level your friend group. And there's tons of free meetups, all this crap out there. And get around people that make $1 million a year. And you'll still be the dick that's making $120K. But now you're making $120K. And get around people that make $10 million a year. And then you're the dick loser that's making $1.2 million a year. But you're still the loser. You're still losing by the same amount. It's just you're a product of your environment. And the other way to look at it is the fact that you live in America. If you make $1,000 a year or a month right now, that's $12,000 a year. That beats out most places. Like you're making more money than a lot of people in the world. So what does that mean? It's probably because you're a product of the environment that you're in, right? The opportunities you're taking, the people that you're around, right? You go to Zimbabwe and you go just gravitate towards those people in Zimbabwe. I don't know what they make, but it's probably not $1,000 a month. And so what ends up happening is like you're a product of the environment and the people that you're around. And so I've always just said, cool, I don't have to be the best. Screw it. I'm going to be the worst. I'm going to be around the best. And it's going to make me pretty freaking good. And luckily in business, it's the only craft that I know where you get paid even if you suck. Meaning if you have this, like the 500th or 5 millionth biggest business in America, you're still getting paid. Like if you want to go to a shooting competition, if you want to go to a hunting competition, if you want to go to an axe chopping competition, you want to go to a basketball competition, baseball, you have to be so damn good to make any money. AAA players in baseball don't make any money. Like nothing. No one cares about them. But if you're the AAA baseball player in business, but you do what you do really, really well, dude, you're making good money. Right. So I think that for just demystifying again, hopefully that's helpful for some of the guys out there.
That was fantastic. I have a million examples, but I'm not going to get into any of them because we're going to digress. And you said to remind you to ask you how you or why.
So there's like a little bit of a process that I've been really good at not doing. And I think this is partially like just a piece of who I am. I got a 1.8 GPA in high school. I only graduated because I went to summer school. Yeah. I went to summer school every year. And I flunked once I got a license, I flunked my first period because I like showed up late every single time. It was terrible. And I wasn't even that bad of a kid. Like I wasn't doing a lot of bad stuff. Yet I just didn't do things unless I knew why. And if you're listening to this podcast, probably because you're asking a lot of why questions. Why am I at this job? Why did this job tell me to do what I'm doing? Why do I get paid what I'm getting paid? Why am I living where I'm living? Why do I eat what I eat? Why am I moving the way that I'm like, why am I dressing the way that I dress? Like this is so weird. Like I always ask myself why, and I wouldn't do anything unless I knew the reason why. So I was like, why am I getting good grades in school? I don't know. I'm not going to use any of this crap. So why? And so what I ultimately saw is like a lot of times in my life, I just never went down the path that didn't make any sense. I talk to guys every single day that are doing stuff that they hate. And I'm like, oh, like, why? Like, why are you doing that? Well, I don't know how to do the other thing. Oh, why? Like, what do you have to do? Is there other people out there that do that thing and make money? Oh, okay. And so like, are they any different than you? Like, I'm going down this path of why, because it just doesn't make any sense. Again, is someone going to be a victim and tell me I'm not doing the things that I wish I could do? All right. Like, I'm not going to save your life. Like, I'm not getting paid over here to take care of you as well. I'm not your mom. And so like, it's probably time to figure out why and change it yourself, or nothing's going to change, and no one should feel bad for you. And so what I started doing is, right when I got married, this is when I saw a level of responsibility. So before, I didn't really care about myself. I could sleep on a floor. I could do whatever. I didn't really care about building anything because I didn't have anyone to take care of. As soon as I got married, I got married at 20. My wife was 18. I felt a level of responsibility. Like, oh my gosh, like I got to provide for the house. Like, this is something that, I'm not going to make my wife just go like work really hard and provide for me. So I'm like, we should probably do this together. And we're like, okay, we don't really know what we want out of life, but we know what we don't want. We just got married. We didn't get married so we could spend all our time apart from each other. So like, okay, what could we do to be around each other? And I'm like, cool, like in business or like in life, let's do what we could do to get around each other. What are we good at? What do we like to do? And I started figuring out like, what are the things that I don't want out of life? I don't want to be capped on my income. Like, all right, well, that takes out a lot of things. And I don't want to be locked down to one thing. That takes out a lot of things. I don't want to be away from my wife. These are like filters that I was putting on like what I wanted to do. And what that led me to is basically business. And I'm like, okay, business is something we could do together. What are the things that we should do in business? Well, what's your big vision in life? I'm like, well, I kind of want to live this style of life. Great. Okay. What are the things that you like to do? What are the things that you're good at? And out of all those filters, what are the things that pop out of the bottom? And there was like only a handful of things. Like, cool. Like now I just have to choose between this handful. And what it did for me was it made me not feel like I had to go back and try all these things. Like so many people that get to 30, 40, 50 midlife crisis. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I need to go do something else with my life, because they've never made a decision on what they should do in their life on their own. They've allowed the world to make the decision for them. And so for me, I'm not having shiny object syndrome because I've made the decision on what I want to do by looking at the options and then making a decision. So when you're making a decision for what you want to do, like the first thing is like, what don't you want out of life? And that's a lot easier to see. Like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm like, great. Now, what do you want? And before you get too far down this rabbit trail where you're so sucked into the life that you hate, and now you've built all these skill sets that don't matter, like, go out there and build the life that you do want, because it takes the same amount of effort. It's like if you were to act like you're someone else, be a fraud, a fake, go rent a car, go put on a suit, take people out to a nice dinner. Like, it's going to take a lot of effort, but there's going to be girls that are interested in that type of guy. But now you have to keep up this fake identity all the time. And it's a lot of work. What I found now is that if you actually just act like who you are, there's girls out there that like that. Except for you just have to keep being who you are. It's a lot easier. I look at it the same. It's like, is it going to be hard to rise up the corporate ladder? Yes. If you hate it, will it be harder? Probably. Is it hard to build a business? Yes. But if you like it, is it going to be more enjoyable? Yes. Cool. Then probably do the one that you kind of like. You know what I mean? Or just stop complaining about it. One of the two.
There's no sense in doing things that you don't like.
Unless it's going to give you what you ultimately like. It's like there are things that I do every day that I don't like in the moment. Right? But like in general, the majority of the things, like I've made a decision to build my life around things that I do like. But doing them all the time doesn't mean I'm going to like it. Every professional athlete likes doing what they do. But doing it all the time isn't always awesome. Right? Because they're professional. They get paid. Yet, like, what's the bigger vision that you have? And is it bigger than the hard stuff? Like, I'm sure hitting record on this podcast isn't always easy for both of you guys. It's like, damn it. The last thing I want to do today is hit record on the podcast. I'm sure it is. But like, ultimately you chose it because, at the end of the day, like in the proper mindset, you like this thing. So you decided to do it, or else you would have never got started. And for a lot of the guys out there, if there's anything, like I love Gary Vee. So many people talk so much crap about this guy, about his hustle and how all this stuff. Dude, it's practical stuff. I love the way that he thinks. Like, go listen to him. Like, he's a phenomenal person when it comes to like, just stop allowing life to live you and go make your own success. Like, no matter how much we whine about how much we want success, it's not going to come to us. like, or how hard things are. So let's go out there and build it. Like he just discovered the free section of Craigslist. 2015, the majority of my income outside of carpet cleaning came from flipping things on Craigslist. I drove a carpet cleaning van all over a city every single day. So everything that was out on the side of the road for free, I would either take a picture of it or I'd pick it up and I would sell it. And like a lot of times I'd meet people in other people's front yards. They had it out for free. I would take a picture. I'd meet people and sell it out of their front yard and help load it into their car. So like you don't have money for what? A $50 membership, a $100 membership, a $500 membership, a $1,000 membership to learn? Like, okay, what do you have? I'm like, I'd be like, okay, sell your gun and your bows. Well, but I love hunting. Okay, cool. Like then don't go be successful. But I want to be successful. Okay, then sell your shotgun shells. You know, like sell the stuff. Like, what do you want? And so many people, like, they kind of want things, but they don't really care. And so it takes, like, Tony Robbins is really good at this. He gets people to dream, what will life be like? You know, he gets people that are addicted to pizza to never eat pizza again. The way he does it is he goes, how bad do you want to eat this pizza right now? And he gives it to them. They're like, oh, like I want that right now. He's like, cool. What would it take to make you only want it a 5 out of 10? It's like, well, 2 days old and it's cold. All right, picture that and picture eating it. It's like, what would make it a 0? Oh, it's moldy and like already chewed up by a dog, spit out on the ground. It's like, okay, picture that. Now picture yourself eating that. And it's like, what would make it a -10? And they're like, dude, it'd have to be like years old, maggots, all nasty. He's like, picture that. And he's like, how bad do you want this pizza now? They're like, dude, I'm not even hungry. Right? So many people in life, they don't go down the rabbit trail of like, what do I actually want? And what will my life be like if I keep doing what I'm doing right now? Am I happy with that? Like, feel the pain. And if you don't feel the pain, you're probably never going to go towards what you actually want. And most men out there are driven by the fear, like the pain of what they want to avoid more than where they want to go. Like people are motivated by 2 things, the future of what they want to get to or the pain they want to run away from. And if most men are motivated by the pain, then it takes raising up the pain, whether let's say we're salespeople or motivators, to get someone to buy or to get someone to change. It takes pressing on the pain point to get them to change. And what I mean by that is this. What do you guys think the worst pain in the world is?
Stepping on a Lego.
I was going to say losing a loved one.
I've seen the raw footage of a picture of a shark stepping on a Lego. Have you seen that? Yeah. What do you think the worst pain in the world is?
Oh,
no, never got it right, so don't worry.
I mean, for me, it's failure. And
okay.
A lot of people think failure is just one thing. No, for me, failure is I don't continue striving to go forward.
Okay. What do you think the worst pain in the world is for everyone?
I would say losing your own kid.
Okay. So just to put a shift on it, because losing your own kid would be terrible. The way to look at it is the worst pain in the world that you're going to run into as a business owner, as an inspirer, as a motivator, yourself, change, whatever, is going to be chronic pain. And the reason why it's chronic pain is because if you had a scale of 1 being the least, 10 being the greatest, chronic pain is probably like a 3 or a 4. Let's say back pain, one of the biggest chronic pains in America and the world. Chronic pain is just enough pain where it sucks and it nags and people complain about it, but it's not enough pain to actually invest to get it fixed. And as a motivator, like you see smokers, man, like, you know, like their whole body's failing. And like, they're like, oh man, like I wish that I could quit. And you're like, well, why don't you quit? Right? But the pain isn't like, it's still chronic pain. Like it's not bad enough for them to actually quit until like a certain level. And everyone has a different level because they're in chronic pain. Like, it's like, like, you know, but I like this more. Like it's still not that bad. And what we run into as a motivator, it doesn't matter what you are. Motivation, you're trying to get people motivated. Someone who's trying to get someone to change or sell something. What you run into is people that are in chronic pain. They're like, oh, dude, I want to buy your stuff. This is amazing. And you tell them the price and they're like, oh, like I'm totally in, but like right now I have to do this thing and then I have to go over here. But I'm in though, because they were interested but not committed. because their pain wasn't high enough. Whereas right now, if I shot you guys in the arm with that freaking gun behind you, how much would you think before you went to the freaking hospital and got it fixed? Like, you wouldn't be like shopping around. Hey, honey, get on Yelp. I need you to look up the hospitals and see the best price for the ERs around here. No, you'd be like, where's the closest hospital? I need to go to the hospital. Right? You guys actually look like you probably just patched up yourself. But, for normal people out there, what I mean? Like, normal people, you get shot, you're going to go to the hospital. You're not going to worry about the price. Why? Because the pain's a 10 out of 10. The urgency is a 10 out of 10. And so my goal is to always get people, whether it's a sales conversation, motivation conversation, a podcast conversation, is to push on pain so hard. I'm going to stick my finger in the bullet hole and just move it around a little bit in their life to increase pain so that they can take action. And like, that's never one way in sales too. Like, I was just having a conversation with a guy that I'm probably not even going to sell. I don't sell a lot of health products anymore. It just comes free with a lot of our programs that we have at BDB. And this guy wants to lose weight. And so what questions did I ask him? Okay. And this would be so good for everyone. Like, you'll go sell something with this. Number one, where do you want to be? 12 months down the road, where do you want to be? They tell you about the life that they want. You're like, great. That's awesome. You want to be 180, jacked, stacked, like freaking shredded. Great. Okay. Where are you at now? What's your current height, weight, and age? Well, I'm inactive. I'm 200 pounds and I'm whatever. I have no muscle. I can't lift anything. Like, great. Awesome. And like, what have you done? Like, how long have you wanted to get to 180, blah, blah, blah? Well, I've wanted to do this for like 10 years. Okay. And what have you done to be able to get there? All these different things. I did this diet, I did this thing. I was consistent, but like, none of it's working. Oh, why isn't it working for you? And like, if you keep doing that, like, how does that make you feel? Like, do you think it's a lack of education, accountability, or both? Like, well, I think it's education. Okay. Do you know one thing that you could be doing right now to be healthier that you're not currently doing? Yeah, I know I should be working out more. Okay, so you're telling me it's not just a lack of education then? Because you should be working out more, but you're not doing it. Got it. So if you keep doing what you're doing, what do you think your life will be like in a year? I don't know. Okay, cool. What happened last year when you kept doing what you were doing? What's the difference between you last year and now? Well, I'm like 20 pounds heavier. Oh, okay. So we'll just say 20 pounds heavier then. How's that feel? How does that make your wife feel? How does it make your kids feel? What do you think that'll look like in 10 years, 20 years? Oh, you're going to be dead? How's that feel? Pretty shitty, huh? Now you don't feel anything because you're dead, sucker. No, like, you know what I mean? It's like, so I push on the pain so that they're like, oh, this is like way more intense than I thought it was. Like, they get in that feeling of feeling gross and they're like, man, I would want anything to get out of this place that I'm at right now. Right. And it just brings people into reality. And that's how you get people to change their thoughts, get them to change like into selling. And notice that all I do is ask questions and allow them to tell me where they need help. And the goal is they came to you for a reason. Like, they want something. And if they leave with nothing, it's our fault.
Funny enough, you brought it up. Me and Kevin, like 2 or 3 years ago, we were talking about this, starting a YouTube channel just because we did random videos to begin with, and we thought they were funnier than I'll get out.
Yeah.
His wife and my fiance at the time thought we were stupid, but now they look at it and they think it's pretty funny. And we're like, well, why don't we try to make a career out of it? Why not? Then we started bringing up a podcast because we're like, we enjoy screwing around on YouTube, and we can make that our screw around platform, and we can bring up the podcast, and we can be for real about it and bring more value than we probably ever can on YouTube, because we don't know what we're doing. We still don't know what we're doing. And, talking to people like yourself and other people that are in other realms, I don't know, I can't really speak for Kevin, but it's a mind blower. It's an absolute mind blower. And every time we have a podcast like this, after we get done, I'm like, my brain hurts from all the information. It's going to take me 7 times to listen to this to really understand one thing.
Yeah, we listen to everyone that we record probably at least 6 times before we even put them out. And I can tell you right now, this one's definitely one of my favorites already. On
Is
that,
DoubleB like a play on Double D?
it was kind of,
Kind of.
we both have beards.
Oh, okay.
So it was like,
Instead of Double D, it's Double B.
yeah. So like if we do a fishing video on YouTube, it'll be like double B for like double bobbers or whatever. Fishing bobbers or whatever.
I like it.
So we usually wrap up with two different things. And I'm going to ask this one because you got the last one, 2, 3.
Okay.
What is your personal definition of success?
Yeah, it's a really good question. For me, like I believe in God and I believe in having a destiny, not necessarily that everyone's like predetermined on what they're going to do, but I do believe that the richest place in the world is the graveyard because it's the number one place where everyone's dreams are at because everyone dies with like dreams on their heart, passions in their soul, and don't actually go out there and execute on them. So for me, like my definition of success is literally following the path and the destiny that God placed on the inside of me. That for me is everything. And, you know, that at the end of the day, like there is no other thing that makes success success. Because what's success if you make money and have sacrifice in your household or sacrifice in your body? Like, is that really successful? Like there's going to be mistakes along the way. And so for me, I'm always like, hey, God, like what should I do? And I'm going to take action on that as best as I can. And as long as I know that I did that, like I'm successful.
Love it.
I like it. You said you had a second question.
I thought you were just going to ask it, but you didn't.
I don't know what second question you want me to think of.
So, we usually feed off of each other really well. Tonight, not so much. So where can people find you? It's kind of like a promote yourself sort of thing.
Well, you know, usually I'm at my office from, you know, sometimes I get 11, so they can find me here. I go to Roots down the street, Temecula, Roots, shout out. I go there sometimes. You know, I try not to as much because I always leave there with a bunch of stuff. But Instagram's amazing. If you guys are on Instagram, make sure to check us out on Instagram, but also $1 Billion Brotherhood on Facebook. $1 Billion Brotherhood. If you forget that, dude, you might want to go check the doctor or something like that because that's the easiest name to remember in the world. And, you know, if you don't join it, then you definitely want to go to the doctor as well because that makes no damn sense. It's free. $1 Billion Brotherhood on Facebook. Fill out the 3 questions. Get accepted. I think right now, especially at this season, we delete a lot of people from the group because if people aren't like engaging and doing stuff, then I just have my assistant go through and like start deleting people that look like they're not doing anything. But like right now we have just today 56 requests to join the group.
Nice.
Of people from all over the US, all over Canada, English speaking countries. And there are other men that are just like us, like just wanting to go out there and do life really freaking well. And what I found is that I used to go to events and men's events, business events. I go to business events and not everyone's like-minded. They just want to talk about business. And if I can't do something for them right then, or they can't do something for me, we don't connect. That's boring. I look at that like a pinky relationship. I can break this apart pretty damn easy because pinkies aren't that strong. But when I saw, I was like, I'd go to Christian events, let's say, and they weren't into business. I was like, dude, if you're just working a regular like job and you don't really care about ever doing anything else, this isn't that fun of a conversation either. And so that was like, oh, like how do I get this like-mindedness together? So what I saw is like health, wealth, and relationships are the 3 areas that men can't outsource. So I made my company all around those subjects. How do we not only like have value for these things, but how do we actually do them with practical tools? And that looks like this. And actually, if you guys like did that, like you physically can't break it. Try it. Like I even had people like pull on my arms and you just can't break this bond. Like it's insane. And that's the type of relationships we have in there. And you guys probably seen like, go ask a question in our group about business, life, health, marriage, sex, whatever, and then go ask it in a different men's group and see the difference in the answers and the caring and the level of success of the people. And it's just unreal. So we've always continued to cultivate that as much as we can.
We love it.
Come on, hit me with some more rapid fires, dude. This is fun.
Oh, okay, you want another rapid fire? Do you have any future projects coming up?
A kid, yeah. It's a project we've been working on for about 9 months now. Mostly my wife's been working on it. I worked at the beginning stages, and then now she's been working on it. And I think it'll be done here somewhere between end of December, beginning January.
Yeah, you did the hard work at the start. Now she's doing the rest.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm pretty much right now. I'm sleeping as much as I can before he comes, and then I work so hard that I'm probably just gonna sleep when he does come as well. So yeah, that's a project. Outside of that, I do have a goal setting workshop at my office, which I'm always excited about. It's goal setting mastermind. So there's randomly someone in Southern California or someone who likes to run really far, like Bubba Gump, or if somebody likes to ride bicycles really far distance, come out to my office December 7th. So if this comes out before then, let's say it's December 1st when you hear this, then if you are going to run here, you probably want to start running now, especially if you're in the middle of the country. But if you want to ride a bicycle, I think it takes a little bit less. So I'm not exactly sure. You type it in Google Maps. You can take a bus, whatever. But actually, if anyone randomly does want to do that, MVP is a discount code for the ticket, which makes it $47 instead of $97, because I just think that'd be a funny story. But outside that, I have my event every June of each year, and that's in San Diego. It's a men's event, very exclusive, very high level, very transformative. And it's mostly because some things are better caught than taught, right? You can listen to YouTube, whatever, yet you've been in environments where you're around people that are like either successful or just really good at what they do, and you just like catch it. It's like when you hang out with your friends and you get mannerisms. I have one story. I used to golf all the time. The guy that I golfed with dipped chewing tobacco all the time, so he was always spitting. And I learned how to play golf from, never thought about anything else. And still to this day, I still spit every time I golf with no chewing tobacco, because I picked up his spitting mannerism just from being around him. So imagine being around people like last year, I had Jay Abraham speak, $23 billion man, coaches people like Tony Robbins. Last year, I had my friend speak that has the 4th fastest growing company in America, and he's 26. So imagine if you come there and you pick up his mannerisms, how will life be different? So that's what I have coming up. But the kid's the most fun one.
I like it.
Speaking of kids, mine are being rowdy. Keep putting you on mute.
I thought that's why you had guns.
Oh, not for the kids.
Not for the kids.
I'm just messing with you guys.
We stick to the duct tape with that one.
Smart. Like the one that like they have the commercials on with the cars that they like duct tape the car, the water. You know, the water's coming out of the pipe and they duct tape it.
Yeah.
Flex seal. Flex tape.
Heck yeah.
Flex seal.
Flex seal.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It's good to talk to you. Sorry we didn't have any questions, but you kind of brought out more value than we probably could have asked in questions.
That's cool. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. And any last things?
This dude is massively successful, and he's only 25 years old. Right? 25?
27 now.
Oh.
Yeah, my wife's 25, and she just turned 26 in November.
So when we met, I thought it was 2 years ago. You were like 23.
Maybe I was. I'm not good with time. So you might be accurate. I might be accurate, but I was born in 1992, so that helps.
Your time plus my math. Awesome.
Yeah. Sweet, guys. Well, I appreciate it so much again.
Yeah, thanks for coming.